Good evening and welcome back to another episode of The Longing, where today we're going to be continuing to read the Iliad. So, let's get going. Right. Thus, Trojans, thus at length be taught to fear, O race perfidious who delight in war. Already noble deeds ye have performed, a princess raped transcends a navy stormed. In such bold feats your impious mights approve, without the assistance or the fear of Jove. The violated rights, the ravished dame, our heroes slaughtered and our ships on flame. Crimes heaped on crimes shall bend your glory down, and whelm in ruins yon flagitious town. O thou great Father, Lord of earth and skies, above the thought of man, supremely wise, if from thy hand the fates of morals flow, from whence this favour to an impious foe? A godless crew, abandoned and unjust, still breathing rapine, violence and lust. The best of things beyond their measure cloy, sleep's balmy blessing, love's endearing joy. The feast, the dance, whate'er mankind desire, even the sweet charms of sacred numbers tire. But Troy for ever reaps a dire delight, in thirst of slaughter and in lust of fight. This said he seized, while yet the carcase heaved, the bloody armour which his train received. Then sudden mixed among the warring crew, and the bold son of Pylaemenes slew. Harpalion had through Asia travelled far, following his martial father to the war. Through filial love he left his native shore, never, never to behold it more. His unsuccessful spear he chanced to fling against the target of the Spartan king. Thus of his lance disarmed from death he flies, and turns around his apprehensive eyes. Him through the hip transpiercing as he fled, the shaft of Merion mingled with the dead. Beneath the bone the glancing point descends, and driving down the swelling bladder rends. Sunk in his sad companion's arms he lay, and in short pantings sobbed his soul away, like some vile worm extended on the ground, while life's red torrent gushed from out the wound. Him on his car the Paphlagonian train in slow procession bore from off the plain. The pensive father now no more, attends the mournful pomp along the shore, and unavailing tears profusely shed, and unrevenged deploring his offspring dead. Paris from far the moving sight beheld, with pity softened and with fury swelled. His honoured host, a youth of matchless grace, and loved of all the Paphlagonian race. With his full strength he bent his angry bow, and winged a feathered vengeance at the foe. A chief there was, the brave Euchenor named, for riches much and more for virtue famed, who held his seat in Corinth's stately town, Polydeuces' son, a seer of old renown. Oft had to the father told his early doom, by arms abroad or slow disease at home. He climbed his vessel prodigal of breath, and chose the certain glorious path to death. Beneath his ear the pointed arrow went, the soul came issuing at the narrow vent. His limbs unnerved drop useless on the ground, and everlasting darkness shades him round. Nor knew great Hector how his legions yield, wrapped in the cloud and tumult of the field. Wide on the left the force of Greece commands, and conquest hovers o'er the Achaean bands. With such a tide superior virtue swayed, and he that shakes the solid earth gave aid. But in the centre Hector fixed remained, where first the gates were forced and bulwarks gained. There on the margin of the hoary deep, their naval station where aegis keep, and where low walls confine the beating tides, whose humble barrier scarce the foe divides, where late in fight both foot and horse engaged, and all the thunder of the battle raged. There joined the whole Boeotian strength remains, the proud Ionians with their sweeping trains, Locrians and Pythians and the Epean force, but joined repel not Hector's fiery course. The flower of Athens Stychius Phidus led, Bias and great Menestheus at their head. Meges the strong the Epean bands controlled, and Dracius prudent and Amphion bold. The Pythians Medon famed for martial might, and brave Podarces active in the fight. This drew from Phylacus' noble line, Iphiclus' son, and that Oileus thine. Young Ajax's brother by a stolen embrace, he dwelt far distant from the native place. By his fierce stepdame from his father's reign, expelled and exiled for her brother slain. These rule the Pythians and their arms employ, mixed with Boeotians on the shores of Troy. Now side by side with like unwearied care, each Ajax laboured through the field of war. So when two lordly bulls with equal toil force the bright ploughshare through the fallow soil, joined to one yoke the stubborn earth they tear, and trace large furrows with the shining share. O'er their huge limbs the foam descends in snow, and streams of sweat down their sour foreheads flow. A train of heroes followed through the field, who bore by turns great Ajax's sevenfold shield. Whene'er he breathed remissive of his might, tired with the incessant slaughters of the fight, no following troops his brave associate grace, in close engagement an unpractised race. The Locrian squadrons nor the javelin wield, nor bear the helm, nor lift the moony shield, but skilled from far the flying shaft to wing, or whirl the sounding pebble from the sling. Dexterous with these they aim a certain wound, or fell the distant warrior to the ground. Thus in the van the Telamonian train, thronged in bright arms, a pressing fight maintain. Far in the rear the Locrian archers lie, whose stones and arrows intercept the sky. The mingled tempest on the foes they pour, Troy's scattering orders open to the shower. Now had the Greeks eternal flame acquired, and the galled Ilians to their walls retired. But sage Polydamas, discreetly brave, addressed great Hector, and this counsel gave. And you know what? We're not going to start the next page, really, because it's going to be a long one, I imagine, because it's a speech. So we're going to end the reading portion there. We are going to... I've forgotten how far into that book we are, but we are going to need to rewind time soon. So if we get to the end of one of these sections, one of these book sections, anytime soon, we are going to reverse time, because we are... Okay, we're just over halfway. So I think another full reversal should be enough to cover us until the end of the Iliad, which is actually alright overall. But anyway, I will say my usuals. Thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon or night. No matter what time of day it is, I hope you all have a wonderful one of it. And as always, we will be back tomorrow for more of The Longing. Goodbye.